Lord, tonight it feels like the world has gone quiet, but my heart still echoes with noise. There's a distance I can't name, a space between who I was when I first met you and who I've become, trying to manage life on my own. I used to feel you so near, like morning light slipping through a half-opened window. But somewhere along the way, I forgot what that light felt like. I forgot the warmth, the simplicity, the wonder. And yet, even here, in the quiet ache of being far from where I once was, something stirs. Something gentle, holy, unforced. It's not a thunderclap or a demand. It's more like a whisper, faint but familiar, almost as if heaven itself remembers my name. You whisper, not to accuse, not to remind me of all the days I wandered, but to call me back to stillness. You whisper, because you miss me. And that realization, Lord, that you could miss me, it disarms every wall I've built. For so long I've believed that intimacy was my responsibility, that closeness depended on my consistency, my effort, my devotion. But you remind me now that love began on your side, not mine. The whisper doesn't rise from my longing alone. It's born from yours. I hear it now, that soft invitation that doesn't push or pull, but simply calls. Come, just come. You're not asking me to fix myself first. You're not waiting for me to earn another beginning. You're already in the room, already at the window, already letting your light fall across my weary soul. The silence is no longer empty. It's alive with your presence. And suddenly, the ache I felt isn't something to hide from. It's evidence that I still belong to you. Distance has not erased desire. The fact that I miss you means I'm still tethered to your heart. So, I breathe in, and for the first time in a long time, I stop performing. I stop proving. I just let myself be seen. Jesus, you say, return to your first love. But you don't say it with disappointment. You say it with delight, with a smile that remembers how it felt when I first fell in love with you. You remember the tears of that first surrender, the songs whispered in secret, the promises made in trembling faith. And you remember not to shame me for drifting, but to remind me that the door never closed. How gentle you are, Lord. How patient you've been. You could have shouted my name through the storms I created, but you chose a whisper instead, because only whispers are heard close to the heart. So, I lean closer now. I let the whisper grow into warmth, warmth into memory, memory into communion. I realized that distance was never disconnection. It was a pause, a longing, a waiting room for love to deepen. There were seasons when I thought you'd gone silent, but now I see. Heaven was holding its breath, waiting for the sound of my surrender. And here it is, Lord. Not loud, not dramatic, just real. I surrender. I don't come to impress you. I don't come with polished prayers. I come because you called me by name, and I can't ignore it anymore. There's a tenderness in the way you speak, as if you've been standing beside me the whole time, watching the shadows shift, waiting for my eyes to turn back toward the light. You don't rush me, you simply stay, and something in me begins to thaw. The places I locked away begin to open. I start to remember that the first spark of love didn't need perfection, it needed presence. It needed a heart willing to be known. You whisper, I miss you. And my soul answers, I miss you too. It's that simple, that sacred. Nothing more needs to be said for this moment to become holy. The whisper doesn't end with words. It becomes a pull, a magnetic grace drawing me closer not by guilt, but by glory. The sound of your voice becomes a current of mercy, carrying me back to where I first believed. And suddenly, the ache that once felt heavy begins to feel hopeful. Because if you're still whispering, then you haven't given up. If you're still calling my name, then heaven hasn't closed its door. You're teaching me that intimacy doesn't begin with doing, it begins with being wanted, being seen, being called. So I let that truth settle deep. I am wanted by God, not tolerated, not measured, wanted. And that's where closeness begins, in the stillness of being known, fully and still desired. Lord, thank you for calling me back, not through thunder, but through tenderness. Thank you for whispering when you could have warned. Thank you that your first language is love, not judgment. Even now, I can feel that light through the window, soft, golden, familiar, the kind that doesn't demand I move, only invites me to rest. I sit in it, letting it warm the cold corners of my heart. I don't rush. I don't explain. I just receive. This is the first breath of relief, knowing that you see me and still draw near, knowing that being found doesn't start with my search, it starts with your whisper. So I breathe again, and as I do, something holy unfolds: peace, quiet, belonging. The whisper has become presence, and presence has become home. And as this prayer lingers, Lord, may every listener, every heart hearing these words, feel you near, not as an idea, but as a person, not as a memory, but as a presence. Whisper their name until they know you've been here all along. And as we rest in that light, may heaven prepare what's ahead, because this whisper is only the beginning. If this moment has reached you, if you felt that whisper, that gentle pull of God calling your name again, stay close. Let this space become part of your journey back to stillness. Subscribe, not to a channel, but to the rhythm of prayer, so that whenever you return, you'll find the light waiting, the voice still whispering your name. Lord, the whisper hasn't left. It's quieter now, but deeper, threading its way through the noise that fills the edges of every day. And in that noise, there's something honest, stirring, something I've been too busy to name, the ache beneath it all. You see it, don't you? The weight I carry behind the smiles, the tiredness hidden in the rhythm of survival. It's not rebellion that's kept me from stillness, it's exhaustion. The kind that creeps in quietly, disguised as productivity. I've been building, achieving, running, even praying, but often without rest, without pause, without the simple awareness that you are here. There's a part of me that fears what silence might expose, as if slowing down might reveal how barren my heart has become. But you already know. You've watched me pour out from an empty well, trying to satisfy everyone else, while neglecting the thirst that keeps deepening within me. So tonight, I stop pretending the noise keeps me safe. I stop believing that constant motion means life. Because even surrounded by sound, I can feel how quiet my soul has become, not peaceful, but parched. It feels like a dried riverbed, cracked by seasons of self-reliance. I've built channels and systems and plans, hoping water would come if I just worked hard enough. But you've been waiting, haven't you? Waiting for me to stop digging and look up, to realize that no amount of striving can make rain fall. There's an ache I can't outpace. And now I see, maybe that ache isn't punishment. Maybe it's invitation. Because you don't rush in with condemnation when I find myself empty. You let the silence stretch, not to shame me, but to let longing mature, to let thirst become prayer. How tender that is, Lord. You let me come to the end of myself, so that I'll finally remember where water truly flows. I think of those moments when I kept busy even in good things just to avoid the stillness. And yet, you stayed. You didn't scold my distractions. You simply waited for me to notice how hollow they felt. Every yes I gave to the world that wasn't rooted in you left me thirstier. Every attempt to prove my worth drained another drop from my spirit. And now, here I am, tired enough to finally listen. You whisper again, not to demand, but to draw. Let it go, you say. Let the noise fall away. You don't need to earn the rain. Your voice feels like the first wind before a storm, soft, steady, certain. It doesn't shout, it stirs. It touches something ancient within me, that childlike trust that once believed you were enough. I close my eyes and imagine it, the riverbed beneath my ribs cracked and waiting. And then one drop, then another, the slow rhythm of mercy returning. At first, it's uncomfortable, silence always is, but slowly, the ache begins to make sense. The longing that felt so heavy becomes sacred. It's the proof of life still inside me. It's how I know I haven't hardened beyond hope. You say, "Blessed are those who hunger and thirst." And I finally understand that blessing isn't about fullness, it's about desire. You bless the ones who still ache, because that ache means they haven't given up on love. So I breathe out the noise, the pressure to perform, the fear of falling behind, the endless comparisons. I release them into your quiet. And in the hush that follows, something shifts. The ache becomes softer, purer. It no longer feels like absence, it feels like preparation, like the earth before rain. Lord, I see it now. You've been working in the silence, hollowing out the spaces that only your spirit can fill. The drought was never abandonment, it was cultivation. You were teaching me that my worth doesn't come from how much I produce, but from how deeply I receive. The ache has a purpose. It calls me back to dependence. It makes me thirsty for what only you can give. And I sense you smiling through the stillness, as if to say, "See, even the dry places are holy when you bring them to me." I can almost feel your presence like cool rain against the heat of my striving. Each drop carries peace, forgiveness, renewal. It doesn't rush. It doesn't flood. It simply soaks in quiet, deliberate, kind. And suddenly, I realize I don't want the noise anymore. I don't want to rush back to what was draining me. I want to stay here, under this quiet downpour of grace. Lord, make this my new rhythm, this awareness, this slow surrender. Let me hear you not in the chaos, but in the calm beneath it. Teach me to trust the ache as part of prayer, to see thirst as holy. For too long, I thought dryness meant failure. But you're showing me that dryness can be a doorway the moment before the rain begins. So I wait, not in fear, but in faith. Because waiting with you is not empty. Waiting with you is worship. And as the river begins to rise again, as peace starts to move through the cracks, I whisper my gratitude. Not for what I can see, but for what you're forming in the unseen roots. Reaching deeper, heart softening wider, faith learning to rest. The ache beneath the noise is no longer my enemy. It's my altar. It's where I bring every burden, every silence, every unspoken longing and lay it down before you. Because here, even in the quietest ache, you are near. You always have been. And as this moment closes, I can feel the shift from barrenness to beginning, from striving to surrender, from dryness to holy thirst. So I breathe once more, slowly, deliberately, and whisper back what you've already spoken. Let it rain. And as peace settles like a soft drizzle across my soul, I know this is not the end, it's the start of something new. The ache has become a prayer. The prayer has become presence. And as you water these quiet places, Lord, you're preparing the next, where grace will pull me deeper still. Lord, the ache has softened, and what remains feels like stillness but not emptiness. Something quiet is happening beneath the surface. I can't quite explain it, but I can feel it. A pull. Not heavy, not demanding, just gentle, steady. Like a gravity that doesn't crush, only draws. It's strange, this feeling of being drawn closer without effort. For so long I thought I had to climb my way back to you through discipline, through devotion, through doing everything right. But here, in the hush you've made, I sense something different. I'm not being pulled by guilt or by fear. I'm being drawn by delight. You're near, Lord, nearer than my own thoughts, nearer than the pulse beneath my skin. And yet part of me hesitates. A small tremor of unworthiness still lingers in the corners of my heart. I know what I've done. I know the ways I've fallen short. I know the distance wasn't all noise, some of it was my choices. So I stand at the edge of your presence, aware of both your beauty and my own brokenness. And I wonder, can I really come closer? Will your holiness burn or embrace? Then you whisper again, the same voice that called me before, soft, unmistakable, kind. You are not being dragged, you say. You are being loved closer. Those words, they undo me, because love has never sounded like that before. Not conditional, not cautious, just certain. You don't pull me toward you to prove a point. You pull me because you can't bear to be apart. You draw me not as a ruler commanding a subject, but as a father reaching for his child. And the gravity of your nearness feels like mercy, invisible, yet irresistible. Like a magnet beneath silk, unseen but undeniable, you gather the scattered pieces of me that I thought were lost forever. The fear that once made me hold back begins to melt. Because if your nearness isn't earned, then my failures can't cancel it. You're not measuring the distance, you're bridging it. I realize now, you never stopped moving toward me. Even when I ran in circles, even when I got lost in noise, you were the steady center pulling me home. Lord, how long have I misunderstood you? How many times have I mistaken your patience for absence? You've been here, constant and kind, quietly drawing me near while I tried to find you somewhere else. I see it now, the beauty of surrender is not falling apart, it's falling toward you. Every fear, every doubt, every guarded place in me begins to release. The closer I get, the less I resist. You don't demand perfection before proximity. You bring proximity, and perfection slowly follows. That's the gentle gravity of grace. It doesn't force transformation. It invites it. I can feel it in the way my breath slows, in the way my shoulders relax, in the way my heart begins to trust again. You're not a distant deity watching my progress. You're Emmanuel, God with me, even in the middle of my uncertainty. You keep saying without words, you belong here, and I do. Even when I don't feel ready, even when I don't have answers, even when I'm afraid of what closeness might expose, because your nearness isn't about my readiness, it's about your nature. You are near. It's who you are. And as I stand in that truth, the fear that once defined me starts to dissolve. Shame loses its grip. Guilt fades into gratitude. What's left is quiet, holy, steady quiet. Lord, it's like being wrapped in sunlight that doesn't burn but heals. You touch the bruised places in my heart, not with rebuke, but with understanding. You don't ask me to explain why I stayed distant. You simply erase the distance. Every time I draw close, I expect resistance, but you offer rest. I expect correction, but you offer compassion. I expect rules, but you offer relationship. And I realize this is intimacy, not performance, not perfection. Presence. You keep teaching me through stillness what I could never learn, through striving that nearness isn't a reward, it's a revelation. The closer I come, the more I see who you really are and who I really am in you. I am not a stranger trying to earn access. I am a child being reminded where I belong. Your nearness doesn't expose my flaws, it transforms them. Like sunlight filtering through stained glass, you make even the broken parts of me beautiful. The colors of my failure turn into reflections of your mercy. So I stop fighting the pull. I stop fearing the gravity. I let myself fall not into despair, but into your arms. And as I do, peace meets me there. Deep, unshakable peace. The kind that doesn't depend on outcomes or understanding, but on awareness. You are here. There's no striving in this moment. No pressure to hold myself together, just closeness. Just being known. I feel it, the gentle gravity of your nearness, steady as breath, certain as sunrise. You hold me without binding me. You draw me without trapping me. You free me by loving me near. So I whisper back what my soul has wanted to say all along. Stay near, Lord. Stay near, and I will rest. And I know you will. Because you don't come close only to leave again, you come close to remain. Even as this prayer quiets, I sense that gravity still at work, drawing me deeper into peace, deeper into trust, deeper into you. I don't need to chase you anymore. I just need to yield. Because when love pulls this gently, surrender feels like breathing. And as I breathe in your nearness, the resistance fades completely. My soul, once restless, now rests. My fear, once loud, now listens. You are here, and that changes everything. Lord, your nearness has softened the edges of my heart. And now, in this quiet place, something begins to rise. Not words, not songs, just tears. They come without warning, gentle at first, then deeper, as if the soul itself finally found permission to exhale. I don't even know what each tear means. Some feel like grief, some feel like relief. Some carry years of waiting, others carry things I've never dared to say out loud. But you know them all, don't you? Every tear has a story, and you read them better than I ever could. You don't rush to wipe them away, you let them fall. Because here, in your presence, tears aren't weakness, they're worship. For so long, Lord, I've tried to pray with strength, with structure, with composure. But maybe the truest prayers are the ones that don't need language at all. Maybe tears are what happens when words are too small for what the heart is carrying. You've seen these tears before. You saw them in Gethsemane. You know what it's like to weep while trusting the Father. You know what it's like for pain and faith to exist in the same breath. So I stop apologizing for my emotion. I stop trying to clean it up before bringing it to you. Because I finally understand. You never asked me to hide what hurts. You only asked me to bring it close enough for you to touch. I remember, Lord, how you once stood outside the tomb of a friend and wept. You didn't hide divinity behind distance. You entered humanity through tears. You didn't say, "Don't cry." You cried with them. And that changed everything. It's in that same compassion that you meet me now. Every tear I shed is not wasted. It's gathered, noticed, remembered. You turn them into something sacred, something eternal. Your word says, you collect them in a bottle. And I imagine that now, every drop that's fallen becoming like rain in heaven, glistening with promise. Because in your presence, Lord, tears are never the end. They're the language of beginning again. I think of the moments I tried to hold everything together, the forced smiles, the brave faces, the quiet nights when my pillow felt like a confessional. You were there for all of it. You've always been here, waiting for the moment I would stop pretending to be strong enough. So here I am, undone, and somehow freer than I've been in years. Because I finally understand. The only thing you ever wanted was honesty. You don't bless performance, you bless truth. And truth looks like this: a trembling voice, a tear-streaked face, a heart cracked open just enough for light to get in. You kneel beside me in this holy mess and whisper, "Even this is prayer. Even this, Lord." That changes everything. Because if tears can pray, then nothing in me is disqualified. If my sorrow can speak to you, then my silence isn't failure, it's invitation. I feel your presence like candlelight reflecting on glass, soft, steady, patient. Each tear that slides down becomes a reflection of your compassion. I can almost see you watching, not from afar, but right here, beside me. You're not uncomfortable with my pain. You're not disappointed by my weakness. You're moved by it, because you've felt it too. You remind me, blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. And I realize comfort isn't the absence of grief. It's the presence of you in the middle of it. So I let myself cry, not because I'm hopeless, but because I'm held. Not because I'm broken, but because I'm being remade. You are teaching me that every tear has purpose. Each one waters something sacred: compassion, empathy, tenderness, trust. Tears turn the soil of the heart, making space for new life to grow. And when I can't find the right words to pray, you interpret these tears as worship. You turn sobs into incense, invisible but fragrant, rising toward heaven. That thought alone undoes me again. My tears, messy, human, real, become something beautiful in your hands. You are near to the brokenhearted. You don't avoid the ache, you dwell in it. So I stop trying to stop the flow. I let them fall freely, like rain finally released after too long a drought. Every drop says what my lips can't: I need you. And as they fall, I sense something shifting. What began as sorrow starts to feel like surrender. The tears are washing away what no amount of effort could cleanse. I start to see this is what healing looks like. Not control, not composure, but surrender. Peace doesn't come by pretending everything is okay. It comes by trusting that even in the not okay, you are still good. The tears slow. The air feels lighter. My heartbeat finds a gentler rhythm. You're here, Lord, not fixing from a distance, but holding from within. You take every drop of pain and turn it into prayer. Every sigh becomes a song. Every tear becomes a testimony that even in grief, grace is real. And somewhere in that sacred exchange, worship begins to rise. Not the kind that needs a melody, but the kind that needs only love. Because you're worthy, even when I don't understand. You're faithful, even when I'm fragile. You're constant, even when I'm changing. So I lift my hands not in triumph, but in trust. The tears that once blurred my vision Now make it clearer. I see you, Jesus. I see your tenderness, your patience, your love that never turns away. My tears have become my offering. My weakness has become my worship. And in this moment, as peace begins to fill the spaces that pain once occupied, I know something holy has happened. I came to cry. You turned it into communion. So I whisper softly, thank you. Not because the storm is over, but because you've met me inside it. Not because I have answers, but because I have you, and that is enough. So as these final tears fall, I don't wipe them away. I let them shine in your presence like tiny candles, proof that, even in breaking, light remains. The tears have become prayer. The prayer has become peace. And as I breathe again, I feel it, the quiet flow of surrender turning to worship. And as that worship rises, Lord, I sense you already preparing what comes next, the calm that follows, the stillness where your voice will speak again. Lord, peace has begun to take root, yet the world around me still trembles. Even after tears have washed the heart clean, life does not stop moving. The winds still rise, the noise still builds, and I feel it again, that familiar rush of thoughts spinning faster than my faith can keep up. It starts so subtly. A single worry, a small concern, a passing thought, and before long, the storm gathers. The mind becomes a sea of what-ifs and maybes. The waves of anxiety crash against the calm you've been building in me. I try to quiet them, but the harder I fight, the louder they roar. And somewhere in the chaos, I forget that I'm not meant to command the wind, I'm meant to listen for the one who does. Lord, there are moments when fear sounds more real than faith, when every thought feels urgent, when my heart races ahead of your peace. In those moments, I need you to interrupt me, not with volume, but with presence. And you do. You step into the storm, not as a distant rescuer, but as peace himself. You don't shout to overpower the noise. You breathe softly, steadily, and everything begins to change. Because your voice, Lord, doesn't compete. It carries authority without effort. It doesn't need to fight for attention. Creation knows its sound. My heart knows it too, even when my mind forgets. You say, "Peace, be still." And at first, I expect those words to thunder, to echo across the heavens, but they don't. They come like a whisper carried on wind, quiet enough that I have to lean in to hear. That's how you've always spoken, isn't it? Not in the earthquake, not in the fire, not in the frenzy, but in the still, small voice that restores what chaos tries to destroy. So I lean closer. I let your whisper cut through the storm inside me. It's strange how a single word from you can do what my effort never could. The storm doesn't vanish instantly, but it loses its power to define me. Because once I hear you, I remember who I am. I remember whose I am. I don't have to manage the wind. I just have to stay near the one who commands it. Lord, how many times have I tried to solve what only surrender could silence? I've built plans to hold back waves, reasoned with winds, even rebuked myself for being afraid, but all the while, you were standing right here, waiting for me to let you speak. You never panic, do you? Even when I do. You never raise your voice in anger or urgency. You speak peace because you are peace. Your presence interrupts my fear like dawn interrupts darkness, not with noise, but with light. Slowly, surely, inevitably. And the more I listen, the more I realize the storm was never stronger than your silence. It just felt louder. You've been here all along, steady in the middle of my unrest, not shouting for my attention but waiting for my surrender. So I exhale. I let go of the need to fix or control. I stop trying to make the wind obey me and simply turn my face toward you. And as I do, your peace begins to spread. It moves through the panic, quieting the corners of my mind that never stop spinning. It fills the places where fear once sat like an uninvited guest. It's not that the storm disappears, it's that it no longer defines the atmosphere within me. You remind me that peace is not the absence of trouble, it's the presence of trust. And in your voice, trust begins to grow again. I remember that night on the Sea of Galilee, when your disciples cried out in terror, certain they were going to drown. You didn't scold them for their fear, you simply stood up and spoke, and the sea obeyed. Tonight feels like that. My thoughts are waves, my worries are wind. And yet you rise again, not outside me, but within me, and speak into the chaos. Peace, be still. And somehow, everything listens. My breath slows, my heartbeat steadies. The noise that once felt unbearable becomes background to your presence. I realize now storms aren't proof of your absence. They're opportunities for encounter. You let me see the limits of my control so I can rediscover the limitless reach of your peace. You let the winds reveal where I've been anchoring in the wrong things, my plans, my people, my strength. And then, you call me back to the one anchor that never fails, you. Your peace doesn't depend on calm seas. It's the kind that stands on water and sleeps through waves. It's not fragile. It's eternal. So I let you interrupt my storm again. Every thought that tries to rise against your word, every fear that tries to take center stage, I let them bow before your authority. And you don't scold the storm. You simply still it. You are teaching me, Lord, that peace is not passive. It's powerful. It doesn't avoid confrontation. It redeems it. Your peace doesn't hide from the storm. It walks right into it and says, you have no power here. And with every passing moment, I feel it. The noise fading, the chaos quieting, the waves calming under the weight of your presence. It's as if the sea inside me remembers who its creator is. You don't need to fix everything around me before I can rest. You fix the unrest within me first. And as peace begins to settle, I realize this, too, is intimacy. Knowing you not only in still waters, but in the waves that once frightened me. Trusting that no matter how loud the world becomes, your whisper will always find me. So I stay here, breathing slow, resting in the sound of silence that follows your word. It's not emptiness, it's presence. It's the sound of heaven having the final say. And I whisper it back to you now, the same words that changed everything. Peace, be still. Let that phrase become my prayer, my posture, my heartbeat. Let it echo in me long after this moment ends. Because when your voice interrupts the storm, it doesn't just calm the waters, it restores the soul. So I rest in that calm now, Lord. The kind that only comes when you speak. The kind that doesn't depend on circumstances, only on closeness. And as I breathe in the stillness you've created, I know this peace is not fragile. It's a promise, one that will carry me into whatever comes next. Lord, the peace you spoke still lingers. It has settled over me like a quiet dawn after a long night. The waves have calmed, the air feels light, and in the hush that follows, my eyes turn toward you. And what I see undoes me, your hands, scarred, beautiful, eternal. Hands that once reached through storms to pull the drowning to safety. Hands that broke bread for the hungry and touched the untouchable. hands that bore nails so love could never be questioned again. It's strange how something so wounded could also be so glorious. The scars don't fade, they shine. And as I look at them, I realize they are not reminders of death, but of devotion. You never needed proof of your love, Lord, but I did, and you gave it in the most permanent way possible. You wrote love into your very skin. I can almost hear it, the echo of the hammer, the sound that should have meant defeat but instead became the rhythm of redemption. Every strike said, I won't let go. Every wound said, this is how far I'll go to keep you. And now, here I am touching those same hands in prayer, feeling the gravity of that truth. You didn't endure the cross so I could live afraid. You did it so I could live assured. Still, part of me hesitates, because sometimes trust feels harder than faith. I believe you're good, but can I trust that goodness when everything shakes? When life doesn't make sense? When I can't see what you're doing? You don't answer my questions with explanations. You answer them with scars. You hold out those hands, steady and sure, and say, I never left you. Those words silence every doubt. Because the proof of love isn't in promises made, it's in promises kept, even when it hurt to keep them. You could have chosen glory without pain. You could have stepped away before the suffering began. But love wouldn't let you. Love doesn't take shortcuts when eternity is at stake. So you stayed, and because you stayed, I can stand. Lord, I see now that the scars aren't signs of weakness, they're the evidence of victory. The marks that once meant death now testify to resurrection. They are the eternal receipts of grace paid in full. You didn't erase the marks after rising. You kept them not as a reminder of suffering, but as a covenant of faithfulness. When Thomas doubted, you didn't shame him. You invited him closer. Put your finger here. You let him touch the proof. And in that moment, doubt transformed into devotion. You're doing that again now. You let me see, let me feel, let me remember, not so I stay in sorrow, but so I rediscover trust. These hands, Lord, they carry every story of mine you've redeemed. Every time I thought you'd abandoned me, you were holding me. Every moment I thought was breaking me, you were building me. Your hands still bear the marks, because love never forgets its own scars. They are not symbols of pain now, they are symbols of permanence. And I realize trust is not built by avoiding wounds. It's built by seeing the one who heals through them. You're not asking me to have blind faith. You're asking me to look at what's already been done. The proof has never faded. It's in your hands, and those hands are reaching still. You don't promise I'll never face pain again. You promise I'll never face it alone. Even now, you stretch out those marked hands toward every weary place in me. And when I place my trembling heart inside them, something happens. The fear loses its voice. Because no scar in me is deeper than the ones in you. You understand. You've been pierced by what pierced me. You've carried the weight I thought would crush me. You've known betrayal, loneliness, grief, and yet you still chose love. That's why I can trust you. Not because life is easy, but because love like yours doesn't quit. You teach me that scars can be sacred. They tell the truth, not of defeat, but of deliverance. They remind me that healing doesn't erase what happened, it redeems it. So I look again at your hands, light glinting off each mark like fire on gold, and I whisper, thank you. Thank you for not hiding the evidence of your love. Thank you for letting eternity remember what you endured for me. And Lord, when my own hands feel empty, help me remember yours are never idle. When I can't hold it all together, remind me that you still hold me. You are the same Jesus who touched lepers, lifted children, broke chains, and washed feet. Those same hands now reach through time and touch me here, reminding me that your story has always included mine. And if the hands that bear the marks are still at work, then I can rest in what you're forming even when I can't see it yet. You turn wounds into wonders, scars into symbols of steadfastness. The very places that once hurt the most become the ones that shine with the most light. So I open my hands now, mirroring yours, no longer clenched in fear, but lifted in trust. If you could carry a cross and call it love, then surely I can carry my waiting, my pain, my uncertainty, knowing it's leading me somewhere sacred. Because love always does. Lord, let me never forget. Your hands are the anchor of my faith. They remind me that suffering was not the end, resurrection was. And if resurrection followed the wounds in you, it will follow the wounds in me too. So I breathe deeply, tracing the truth written in your scars. I am safe, I am seen, I am held. These marks are not just history, they are a promise. Love has never let go. Love never will. And as I rest in that revelation, peace returns, deep, lasting, radiant peace. The kind that doesn't deny the scars, but finds hope in them. The kind that sees your hands and whispers, if you never let go then, you won't let go now. And with that assurance, I breathe again, steady, secure, surrendered. Because those hands, the ones that still bear the marks, are still holding the world, and they're still holding me. And as I rest in their strength, Lord, I sense you preparing me for what comes next, the quiet daily surrender that deepens love even more. Lord, the sight of your scarred hands lingers in my mind. That kind of love changes everything. It calls something deeper out of me, not just gratitude, but surrender. Because love, that steadfast, deserves a response. And yet, you never demand one. You wait, patient, gentle, unhurried. You don't push me into obedience. You invite me into it. And in your presence, obedience doesn't sound like duty anymore. It sounds like devotion. There's a quiet holiness in that word, yes. It's small, almost invisible, but it holds a covenant inside it. Every time I whisper yes to you, something eternal shifts. Heaven hears it. Hell trembles at it. My own heart awakens by it. But saying yes isn't always easy, Lord. Sometimes my yes feels costly. Sometimes it shakes beneath the weight of uncertainty. Sometimes I want to know what's next before I surrender what's now. You know that about me, and you don't shame me for it. You simply keep standing there, holding out those marked hands, and saying, you can trust me. And slowly, that trust grows roots. Because every time I've said yes to you, it's led me somewhere more alive than I could have imagined. Not always easier, not always clearer, but truer, richer, freer. You've never wasted a single surrender. I remember the first yes, the one whispered through tears when I didn't even understand what following you would mean. You met it with grace. Then the next yes, when obedience cost comfort, you met it with peace. Then the yes that felt like letting go, you met it with resurrection. Every yes has been met by your faithfulness. Every step has been sustained by your strength. So why do I still hesitate sometimes? Maybe it's because saying yes means saying no to control, no to fear, no to self-protection. And I still cling to those things when trust feels risky. But you remind me again, you never called me to control outcomes. You called me to communion. And communion grows in the soil of surrender. You whisper, obedience is not a transaction, it's a dance. That changes everything. Because a dance isn't about control, it's about rhythm, trust, connection. The movement only works when I stop trying to lead. So I take a breath and let my steps fall in sync with yours. It feels unfamiliar at first, releasing the need to know, choosing instead to flow. But then I begin to feel it, the quiet beauty of yielding. Obedience stops being a weight and starts becoming worship. Every small yes, every moment I choose love instead of fear, forgiveness instead of bitterness, patience instead of pride, becomes a covenant. Not loud, not dramatic, but holy. You see those quiet moments when no one else does, the times I choose to believe, to stay kind, to keep trusting. You call those yeses sacred, because love isn't proven in grand gestures, it's proven in consistency. And you've been consistent with me since the beginning. You've never failed to show up when I whispered yes. Even when I faltered after saying it. You didn't withdraw, you kept leading, kept loving, kept believing in who you made me to be. Lord, you make obedience feel safe again, not because it's easy, but because it's shared. You don't send me into surrender alone, you go with me. Every time I say yes, you're already there, waiting, smiling, saying, I've been here the whole time. It's a quiet covenant, but it's powerful, because every yes builds history with you. Every surrender becomes a stone in the altar of our intimacy. You don't measure my obedience in outcomes, you measure it in trust. And trust doesn't need to see, it only needs to stay. So I stay, Lord, even when it costs, even when it stretches, even when I don't yet see the fruit. Because the greatest reward of obedience isn't blessing, it's nearness. The joy you give isn't found after surrender, it's found within it. When I let go of control, I find your hands already holding what I was trying to manage. When I release my plans, I discover yours are always better. And even in the smallest moments, the ones no one will ever see, I sense your pleasure. You delight in the unseen yeses, because love is built there. You remind me that every yes I whisper joins a greater story. Abraham leaving home, Mary saying, Let it be unto me, Jesus in Gethsemane whispering, Not my will, but yours. Each of them found life through surrender, and I will too. Lord, teach me to see obedience not as losing, but as aligning, not as sacrifice, but as symphony. Every time I yield, I make room for grace to breathe. So I whisper it again now, not out of fear, but out of love. Yes, Lord. Yes to what you're shaping. Yes to what you're asking. Yes to what I don't yet understand. Because you've proven enough for me to trust that every yes ends in good. I can almost see it, the candlelight of surrender flickering in the dark. My small flame joining yours until the room glows with devotion. This is the quiet covenant, Lord, not sealed by promises I make, but by presence you keep. And as I rest in that rhythm, joy begins to rise. Quiet at first, then radiant. Because there's freedom here, freedom in knowing that I don't have to figure out everything I've yielded. You'll make the yes make sense in time. Until then, I'll keep whispering it, because love has never been about understanding every detail. It's about trust in the one who holds them. So I yield again, fully, freely. And as I do, I can feel the pulse of heaven move through me, steady, alive, sure. Every yes becomes a heartbeat in our covenant. Every surrender becomes a song only you and I can hear. And in that rhythm, joy dances quiet, radiant, holy. I smile, Lord, because obedience no longer feels like loss. It feels like love answered. And as the moment settles, I sense you already breathing into the next, the place where that love will fill the ordinary with wonder. Lord, this is the part of the journey I once overlooked, the quiet hours, the daily rhythms, the in-between places where life feels so plain. Yet, as your love deepens in me, I'm beginning to see what I missed before. You're here too. You're here in the moments that don't feel spiritual, in the pauses that don't feel profound, in the daily repetitions that seem too small to hold glory. You fill what I once called ordinary with the miracle of your nearness. I used to think I had to find you only in the sacred spaces, in worship, in prayer, in holy gatherings. But now, I sense you at the kitchen table, in the hum of morning light, in the steady rhythm of breathing. You are here, as real as air, as constant as heartbeat, and it changes everything. Because if you are present in what feels simple, then nothing in my life is wasted. Not the dishes washed, not the commute driven, not the phone call answered. Each moment holds the potential to become an altar. You whisper, "This is where I dwell in the middle of your ordinary." And I feel it, the shift inside. The space I used to call mundane becomes holy ground. The same sunlight that once felt like background now feels like blessing. Lord, you're teaching me that intimacy with you isn't about escaping life. It's about inhabiting it with awareness. It's about knowing that heaven doesn't start when I leave the world, it begins every time I notice you in it. You walk beside me in the small things, don't you? In the making of coffee, in the folding of laundry, in the pause between one breath and the next. You are not distant from my daily rhythm. You are the rhythm. There's something sacred about that. The way you move so quietly through the routine, turning repetition into revelation. It's not that the tasks change, it's that I do. My eyes learn to see differently. My heart learns to slow down enough to catch you in motion. Every time I pause to breathe, I feel you breathing too. You remind me of that day in Emmaus when you walked with the disciples after resurrection, and they didn't recognize you at first. They thought you were just another traveler. It wasn't until the bread broke that they realized who you were. And I see now that's still how you move. Hidden in the ordinary, revealed in the breaking. You meet me in the middle of my day, not demanding a stage, just waiting for me to look up. And when I do, even briefly, even in passing, everything slows. The moment opens. The mundane becomes luminous. I feel your presence like sunlight through open curtains, soft, steady, faithful. It touches everything without asking permission. Even the tasks I dread become lighter under that light. The places that felt like duty become devotion, because when I realize you're here, I stop rushing to get through things. I start receiving them as part of communion. I begin to notice the details that reveal you, the way laughter sounds like grace, the way rain sounds like mercy, the way silence hums with peace. Lord, I think that's what you've been trying to teach me all along, that the sacred is not somewhere else. It's right here. Your kingdom doesn't arrive with spectacle. It unfolds in secret, in subtlety, in presence. You're not waiting for grand gestures, you're waiting for awareness. And when awareness comes, worship follows naturally. I don't have to manufacture awe, I just have to notice it. Because your presence fills everything, the cluttered rooms, the quiet walks, the small kindnesses exchanged between strangers. It's all pulsing with divine life. When I pour a cup of water, you are in that gesture. When I speak gently to someone weary, you are in that word. When I rest my hands after a long day, you rest with me. You are Emmanuel, not just God with us on mountaintops, but God with us in the mundane. Lord, I used to pray for you to take me away from my routine. Now, I ask you to be in it, to help me see that nothing is too common for glory, because if you can fill the ordinary, then nothing is wasted. And I begin to understand that holiness isn't a destination, it's awareness. It's living each moment as though you're already there, because you are. You whisper again, gentle and sure, I am here, even here. And it undoes me, because even here in the quiet, unremarkable space of everyday life, you are fully present, fully attentive, fully loving. You don't divide time into sacred and secular. To you, it's all one continuous act of grace. So I stop waiting for the next big revelation, the next emotional high, the next visible miracle. Because the greatest miracle is this: you never leave. You don't come and go, you abide. And you invite me to do the same. To abide, to remain aware, to remain open, to remain still enough to sense your heartbeat in the ordinary. Lord, let my home become a chapel, my work a form of worship, my silence a song. Let every breath I take acknowledge you. Because when your presence fills the ordinary, every small act becomes extraordinary. The sacred and the simple are no longer separate. They are one. So I breathe again, slow, deep, steady. I let the air remind me that you're closer than my own breath, present in every exhale and every moment that follows. This is what it means to walk with you, not just in prayer, but in presence. And as I live this way, I realize I'll never truly be alone again, because awareness of you is companionship that never fades. You are the God of the morning light and the late night quiet, the dishes and the dreams, the errands and the echoes. You fill it all. And as that truth sinks in, peace deepens, gratitude flows. The world doesn't look ordinary anymore. It looks alive. It looks holy, because when you're in it, everything glows with meaning. So I whisper it again, softly, reverently. I see you here, Lord, even here. And as I do, I sense that you're already leading me toward the next rhythm where stillness itself will become breath, and breath will become worship. Lord, the air feels different now, quieter, fuller. Every breath I take seems to carry something sacred, as if stillness itself has become a sanctuary. I don't have to chase you anymore. I just have to breathe. Because when I breathe, I find you breathing with me. The pace of life still tries to pull me back. The urgency, the noise, the constant push to do, to prove, to keep moving. But in your presence, hurry has no authority. The Spirit slows what the world speeds up. The Spirit reminds me that peace isn't found in motion. It's found in awareness. You whisper it again, rest. Not as a suggestion, but as a calling. And for a moment, I almost resist it. Because rest feels foreign, almost unsafe. I've spent years equating stillness with stagnation, quiet with wasted time. But you remind me that rest was the first gift you ever gave humanity, before purpose, before responsibility, before failure. You created rest. You rested yourself, and you called it holy. So, here I am, Lord, learning to see rest, not as withdrawal, but as worship, not as weakness, but as alignment. Every inhale becomes a prayer. Every exhale becomes release. With each breath, I let go of one more thing I was never meant to carry. the fear of falling behind, the guilt of not doing enough, the need to keep everything together. All of it falls away in the rhythm of your stillness. You are teaching me that the Spirit's pace is different. It's not rushed, it's rooted. It doesn't sprint toward outcomes, it flows toward obedience. I can almost feel that flow now, like a slow tide rolling onto untouched sand. It doesn't announce itself, it simply arrives, filling the empty spaces with peace. This is where I belong, not in exhaustion, but in communion, not in striving, but in breathing. You remind me, it is finished. Those words didn't end the story, they began rest. And now, as I breathe, I realize how much of my life has been lived holding my breath, waiting for clarity, for breakthrough, for the right moment to exhale. But your Spirit whispers, you can breathe now. So I do. And as I do, the air fills my lungs with something more than oxygen. It fills them with assurance, with grace, with a quiet kind of confidence that no striving could ever produce. Because this is what renewal feels like, not adrenaline, not excitement, but peace, true peace, the kind that steadies me without needing to fix me. Lord, you are retraining my soul to live in rhythm with heaven's breath, every inhale receiving, every exhale releasing. I breathe in mercy, I breathe out anxiety, I breathe in love, I breathe out fear. This is communion, not just in words or rituals, but in rhythm. You are as close as air. And the Spirit within me is not distant or dormant, he is alive, moving with every breath. I feel him reminding me that rest is not retreat, it's renewal, that quiet is not absence, it's awareness. That stillness is not the lack of progress, it's the birthplace of strength. In this stillness I see clearer, I hear you better, I know myself truer. Because when I stop striving to control life, I start receiving it. And I realize that everything I've been chasing, clarity, joy, purpose, connection, was waiting for me in this calm all along. Lord, it's humbling to know that you don't demand performance to meet me. You meet me in rest. You dwell where peace abides. The Spirit doesn't rush in like a storm. He settles in like morning light. Gentle, steady, transformative. And as he fills me, I start to notice rest doesn't just restore me, it restores perspective. I see people differently. I see myself differently. I stop reacting and start responding. I stop grasping and start trusting. Because stillness reorients my heart toward what truly matters, your presence. You are the still center of every storm, the breath between every heartbeat, the silence that speaks louder than words. And when I live aware of that, peace stops being occasional. It becomes constant. So I breathe deeper now, slowly, deliberately letting this stillness sink in. I realize that your Spirit isn't only filling me, he's forming me. He's forming patience where hurry used to live. He's forming gratitude where anxiety once ruled. He's forming faith where fear used to whisper. The stillness is not empty. It's alive. It's here that I rediscover my identity, not as someone who performs for love, but as someone who breathes because of it. I am loved into existence, loved into rest, loved into peace. And Lord, as the Spirit continues to move gently through me, I see how this stillness doesn't pull me away from the world, it prepares me for it. Because from stillness flows strength. You're teaching me that rest is not escape, it's equipping. It's what fills me so I can pour again without running dry. I don't need to fear stillness anymore. It's not the absence of life, it's the restoration of it. You sit with me in the silence, and I feel it, the pulse of peace. the weight of glory that doesn't shout, but simply is. You whisper one more truth, soft and sure. The Spirit breathes where He wills, and right now He is breathing in you. So I rest, I breathe, I trust, and in this stillness I find strength again, quiet, anchored, unshakable strength. Because peace that's been tested by storms doesn't fade in calm, it flourishes. Lord, let this become my way of living, breathing you in, releasing everything else. Let stillness be not an occasional refuge, but a daily rhythm. May every breath remind me, I am sustained by grace, not effort. And as I sit in that awareness, as peace fills every part of me, I know that this stillness is not the end of the journey. It's the preparation for what's next. Because what begins in breath always ends in transformation. So I exhale one last time, whispering into the quiet. Spirit of God, breathe through me and keep me here steady, surrendered, alive. Lord, the stillness has become something more than peace. It has become presence. Every breath now feels like a doorway, opening into you. The distance that once defined my faith has disappeared. I don't have to reach across a gap anymore. I simply turn my heart, and you are there. Your nearness doesn't just comfort me, it changes me. It rearranges what I thought I knew about life, about purpose, about who I am. Because when you are close, everything false loses its grip. Everything heavy becomes light. Everything complicated becomes simple again. There was a time when I believed I needed to earn your nearness, as though holiness were something I could build. But now I see holiness isn't achieved, it's received. It's what happens when I let you get close enough to touch what I kept hidden. You've been whispering this truth all along. You don't have to come up to me. I came down to you. And that changes everything. Because now even my weakness is no longer disqualifying. It's where your strength begins to glow. Even my wounds become invitations for healing. Your nearness brings truth, not the kind that crushes, but the kind that frees. It reminds me that I was never meant to live half-loved, half-known. You want all of me, not to control me, but to complete me. When you draw near, masks fall, pretenses dissolve. The person I thought I had to be fades, and what remains is the one you always saw beneath it all. You whisper, "You are my beloved," and something in me breaks open again, not from pain this time, but from relief. Because that word, beloved, is the one I've been aching to hear all my life. It's not a title I earn through performance or perfection. It's an identity you spoke before I took my first breath. To be called beloved by you, that's the truest thing about me. It makes sense now why your nearness transforms everything, because closeness reveals truth. When I'm near you, I remember who I am. I'm not defined by what I've lost or what I've done. I'm defined by who I belong to. And when I remember that, fear has no power left. Shame loses its echo. Doubt becomes small. Your nearness changes how I see others too. It's impossible to stand this close to perfect love and still hold grudges. It's impossible to feel truly forgiven and not want to forgive. That's the miracle of intimacy. It doesn't just comfort, it transforms. It turns me into what I behold. You draw near, and suddenly I begin to love like you love. Slower, gentler, freer. Lord, you're showing me that your presence isn't just peace for my heart. It's power for my life. The kind of power that doesn't dominate, but liberates. The kind that speaks softly and yet moves mountains. You said to Moses, My presence will go with you, and I will give you rest. And I see now your presence is both the promise and the power. It's not something that visits and departs. It abides. Your nearness isn't seasonal, it's covenantal. You never withdraw, even when I waver. You don't retreat when I wrestle. You stay, always. And the more I let that truth take root, the less I chase feelings. I stop asking, do I feel God right now? And start declaring, God is here right now. Because your nearness is not a mood, it's a reality. Even when I can't sense you, you're no less close. It's humbling, Lord, to realize that I'm never actually without you, only unaware. So make me aware. Let that awareness become my anchor, my anthem, my assurance. You said, I am with you always, not sometimes, not when I've done enough, always. And always means now. Right here, in this breath, you are closer than the air itself. Your nearness changes not only how I live, but how I speak. It gives weight to my words. Because when I know you dwell within me, I don't speak from emptiness anymore. I speak from overflow. Your spirit becomes the breath behind my voice. Every prayer, every act of love, every word of hope carries the echo of your presence. That's what you meant, isn't it? When you said, out of your belly shall flow rivers of living water. You were promising that proximity would produce power, not power for control, but power to heal, to bless, to lift, and that power is rising now. Quiet, but unmistakable. The closer I come, the more I reflect. I start to feel what it means to walk in authority, not because I'm strong, but because I'm loved. The nearness of love makes me brave. You said, you are my beloved, speak from that place. So I do. I speak from nearness, not distance, from peace, not panic, from love, not lack. And when I speak from there, the atmosphere changes, not because my words are special, but because they carry you, Lord. Your nearness makes life sacred again. Every interaction becomes ministry. Every word can become healing. Every breath can become prayer. This is the kind of intimacy that transforms the world one quiet act at a time. And I know now that this was always your goal, not to make me religious, but to make me radiant. To live so aware of you that others feel your nearness through me. You're not asking me to do more. You're asking me to be more still, more surrendered, more aware of the miracle already within. You are here. You have always been here. And that truth alone is enough to change everything. So I rest in your nearness, in the warmth, the quiet, the steady heartbeat of love that never lets go. And as I breathe again, I realize that this is what freedom feels like. Not escape, but presence. Not striving, but surrender. Your nearness has rewritten my story, and as the light of that truth fills the room, gentle, golden, endless, I sense that you are already guiding me toward the next revelation, that this nearness isn't fragile. It will not fade. It will hold me even when I falter. Because what you start in love, you sustain in covenant. Lord, even now, after all you've spoken, after all the peace and nearness, there's one truth that feels too vast to fully grasp. You will not let go, not of me, not of anyone who belongs to you. Your love has never been fragile. It has never been conditional. It has never waited to see if I was worth holding on to. From the very beginning, your grip was covenant, not convenience. And I feel it tonight, that steady hold. Not a grasp that restricts, but a hand that anchors. You are the same yesterday, today, forever. The same Jesus who reached through water, through shame, through sin, through death itself, just to take my hand. You didn't wait for me to reach back. You reached first. And even now, when I grow tired, when I loosen my grip, when I let fear pull at the edges of faith, your hold does not waver. That's who you are, Lord, faithful even when I falter, steady even when I shake. There are moments when I still feel the old fear rise, the fear of drifting, of losing what we've built, of somehow slipping back into distance. But you quiet that fear before it can speak. You remind me, it's not your strength that keeps us, it's my love. That sentence feels like oxygen. It lifts the weight I didn't even realize I was carrying. Because for too long, I treated intimacy with you like something I had to maintain, as though one missed prayer, one distracted day, could undo what took eternity to establish. But your love is not that fragile. It isn't held together by my effort. It's sustained by your covenant, the covenant you sealed not with ink, but with blood. The one you still carry in the marks on your hands. That's why you can't let go, because letting go would mean denying your own nature. And love can't do that. You promised, I will never leave you nor forsake you. And you meant it. You mean it still. You've stayed through every season, through the joy that sang, through the doubt that choked, through the grief that hollowed. When others turned away, you stayed. When I ran, you followed. When I fell silent, you whispered. There has never been a version of me that you didn't love. And that's the miracle. You love me not as an ideal, but as I am. Not for what I might become, but because I am yours. Your hold isn't hesitant. It's holy. It's the same hand that stretched across galaxies, now holding a single heart mine and calling it treasure. How could I ever be lost, Lord, when love like that refuses to let go? I think of Peter sinking beneath the waves, eyes clouded by fear, and you didn't scold him, you just reached. You caught him, you pulled him close again. You're still doing that. You're still catching the ones who start to sink under life's weight. You're still pulling us close before the waters close in. You hold with strength, but also with tenderness, the kind that doesn't bruise, only steadies. There's something holy about realizing I can rest in that hold. I don't have to strive to be kept, I just have to stay willing to be held. And in that rest, peace deepens, gratitude swells. Because your grip, Lord, is not controlling, it's comforting. It's not a cage, it's covenant. You don't hold me to limit me. You hold me to remind me I'm never alone. Even when I walk through silence, even when I don't feel you as vividly as before, you are still there, holding, guiding, guarding, loving. I hear you say it now, not as a promise, but as a declaration that has already been fulfilled. You are mine, and I will not let you go. Those words echo through every fear, through every unanswered question, through every dark night. They sound like safety. They sound like home. Because love like yours doesn't weaken with time. It strengthens. It doesn't wear thin. It grows deeper. Lord, I see now I've spent so much of my life afraid of losing you, when all along, you were holding me too tightly for that to ever happen. Your love doesn't fade when I fail. It doesn't shrink when I doubt. It doesn't tire when I wander. It pursues. It endures. It restores. It is the love that went to the cross and came back alive. It is the love that looks me in the eye and says, even this cannot separate you from me. And now, as I sit here in the quiet, I feel that love like warmth around my shoulders, soft, constant, eternal. You hold me still, Lord, not to keep me from moving forward, but to remind me that no matter where I go, I'm never out of reach. Even if I lose my way, love will find me. Even if I forget, love will remind me. Because your love isn't fragile emotion, it's divine decision. And you decided long ago that nothing would undo it. Not sin, not time, not distance, not death. Nothing. That truth steadies me more than any feeling ever could. It's the foundation under my faith, the promise that won't break, so I rest again in that unshakable assurance. I am held through storm and silence, held through joy and sorrow, held when I'm strong and held when I'm not. And Lord, I know that this kind of love isn't just meant to be received, it's meant to be reflected. Teach me to love others with that same endurance, to hold without control, to stay when it's costly, to forgive when it hurts. Because if your love will not let go of me, then mine should not let go of others too quickly either. Let this assurance I am held become the seed of compassion that grows in me, so that when others feel forgotten, I can remind them, you are held too. And maybe, through that reminder, they will feel your hand again, the same hand that still carries scars, still radiates mercy, still refuses to release what it has redeemed. Because once you hold something in love, you never let it go. And I belong to that love forever. So I whisper one last prayer tonight, quiet, steady, certain. Thank you, Lord, for never letting go. If this prayer reached something deep in you, if you felt that unbreakable love wrapping around your own life, stay near. Don't walk alone. Leave a word, a prayer, a thought below. Share what love is restoring in you. This space exists for hearts learning to trust again, for souls who need to remember they are held. Let's keep holding one another in prayer, as He keeps holding us in grace. Lord, it's quiet now, so quiet that I can hear the sound of my own breathing, and even that feels sacred. Every inhale draws me deeper into you. Every exhale releases the last of the weight I once carried. This is what intimacy feels like, not striving, not asking, just being, just breathing the same air as you. You are closer than breath, closer than heartbeat, closer than thought. There is no separation left, no gap to bridge, no distance to cross. What began as a whisper has become communion, constant, effortless, whole. For so long, I searched for this closeness as though it were somewhere else, a mountain to climb, a moment to achieve. But you were never far. You were here, waiting for my awareness to catch up with your presence. And now, it's here, the peace I've chased for years, quietly blooming inside me like dawn through open curtains. The same light that started this journey has found its way back, brighter than before, but softer too, the kind of light that doesn't demand attention. It just fills the room until there's nowhere it isn't. This is home, not a place, not a promise still coming, but this stillness, this presence, this knowing that I am in you and you are in me. Lord, you've been drawing me closer with every breath, and now I see where it was leading all along. You weren't pulling me toward a destination. You were pulling me toward yourself. And here, at the end of this prayer, I realize there was never really an end, only arrival. Because when love is this complete, this encompassing, there's nowhere else to go. You are my beginning and my forever. You are the quiet in my chaos and the song inside my silence. You are the steady rhythm beneath every heartbeat, reminding me that life itself is communion. I no longer have to wonder if I'm close to you, I simply am. You whisper again, softer than ever. You are home in me. Those words settle into the deepest parts of me, filling every empty space I didn't know was still hollow. I can feel it, the ache of the journey dissolving into rest. The striving, the searching, the waiting, all of it fulfilled in this nearness. Home is not a someday promise. It's a present reality. Every road I've walked, every tear I've shed, every whisper of faith I've spoken, they've all been leading here, to this moment, to this breath, to you. Lord, you've always been closer than I realized. Even in seasons that felt like distance, you were dwelling in the spaces I thought were empty. Even in the waiting, you were waiting with me. Now I see it, nothing was wasted. Every ache was an invitation. Every delay was a drawing. Every silence was a setup for this symphony of stillness. The journey was never about finding you. It was about remembering you. And now that I remember, I never want to forget again. I want to live from this awareness that I am already home, already held, already whole. Because intimacy with you isn't a moment, it's a way of being. It's waking up and realizing that even before I speak, you are already near. Even before I pray, you are already listening. Even before I move, you are already within. You have woven yourself into every breath, every thought, every heartbeat. And when I breathe deeply, I can almost hear heaven itself breathing with me, a harmony of love, endless and alive. Lord, I think about the beginning, about how this all started with a whisper. That whisper has become a voice, and that voice has become the rhythm of my life. You've been speaking from the start, calling me back into the intimacy I was created for, not as a guest in your presence, but as a child at home in it. You are the vine, and I am the branch. You are the breath, and I am the inhaling of it. You are the home, and I am the returning. And as I rest here, surrounded by the quiet hum of your presence, I realize this is eternity, not some faraway heaven, but this communion, this awareness that love is not somewhere else. Love is here. You are here, closer than breath. And this closeness doesn't end when the prayer does. It doesn't fade when I rise or when the day begins again. It follows, it fills, it remains. Because the secret of abiding is not holding on, it's knowing I can never be let go. So I rest, Lord, fully, finally, freely. I rest in the truth that I have been drawn closer than ever before, not by my effort, but by your embrace. I rest knowing that even when my mind wanders, my soul stays tethered. Even when words fail, presence remains. You are my forever home, and in that home, everything belongs: the laughter, the tears, the waiting, the worship, all of it sacred, all of it seen, all of it held. So I breathe again, slow, deep, content. Every inhale says, you are here. Every exhale says, and I am yours. No striving left, no distance left. Only this communion without condition. You are closer than breath. And that is where I will stay. Because this love, this presence, this oneness is the very heart of life itself. And as I rest in it, I whisper one last prayer, not out of longing anymore, but out of love fulfilled. Lord, thank you for drawing me close, closer than I've ever been, closer than I could have imagined, closer than breath itself. Thank you for making my soul your home. And as the final silence falls, it isn't empty, it's full. Full of the same light that began this journey, soft, golden, eternal. The whisper that started everything now echoes as a benediction through my spirit. You are home. You are held. You are mine. And in that truth, Lord, we rest now and forever. Peace, real peace. Settle now over every listener, over every heart that prayed these words. May your love, Lord Jesus, be their constant breath, their quiet strength, their forever home. And as we breathe this last prayer together, let it not be an ending, but a continuation, because the whisper still speaks, the light still shines, and the nearness never leaves. Amen.